Well, hello, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time of day you're watching. My name is Linda Hales, and I am the number one leadership coach for female entrepreneurs. And today I am here with my client, Amanda Ocasio. Amanda is your number one and only realtor. She's a realtor licensed in the state of Texas. And today we're talking about Amanda's biggest result, which has been closing a $735,000 deal that gave her the most amount of money in one deal. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that, but it made me really proud to know that I exist on earth for a reason. I help women who are producers. And if you are a producer, that means that you decided to jump into a career where there was no guarantee. You produce, you eat what you kill, and there is no base salary. It's commission only. And so I think that that kind of woman is amazing at any age. And I'm going to let Amanda introduce herself and say how old she is and all that stuff. But the fact that when I met Amanda in April, it was April, yeah?
Yes.
And well, when we actually like started working together, and Amanda told me what she had made for the year already, and 3 weeks later, she made what she had made for the year in one deal. And so I love to help women compress time. I like to help women. Hey, what did you make so far this year? Let's do that in one deal. And while I can't guarantee that for and everyone, what I can guarantee is that you're going to achieve faster results when you work with me, period. And if you rock with me long enough, you're definitely going to see that you can achieve big things in a short amount of time. And why not shoot for having a year every 6 months instead of having a year every 12 months? So anyway, thanks for being here, Amanda. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you find me?
Well, thank you so much for having me. So, like Linda said, my name is Amanda Ocasio. I'm a realtor in Texas. I am 34 years old. And how I found Linda was just watching another, I guess you could say, entrepreneur. And I saw her journey from where she was to where she ended up. And it was a noticeable shift. I saw a shift in her content, I saw a shift in her verbiage, and I also saw a shift in her look. So, in one of her posts, she mentioned Linda, and I was like, who is this Linda? So, I started following her. I feel like most people do. And I had been watching her for about 6 months or so. And finally, I decided to pull the trigger and reach out to her. Part of the reason why I waited was because she seemed so authentic and ready to call you out on your stuff, on your shit. And I wasn't ready for that at the moment. So I just kind of hung back until I felt like I was ready. And when I reached out to her. I saw she was doing a 5-day challenge, the Charge More Now challenge. And in real estate, commissions, that was something that I was looking into elevating and charging more for my services and my expertise. So I joined the challenge. And then she called me probably a couple minutes after I joined.
So let's stop there. So when Amanda is saying she joined the challenge, that means she went to the website
Hmm.
missionchargemorenow.com and she bought a ticket.
Correct.
That's how she joined the challenge, by buying a ticket. It was a Saturday morning, and I said, "Oh, I'm on my way to the jewelry store. Let me call her." And so, how did you feel when you're like, Linda's literally reaching out to me and she's calling me? Like, was that weird, or were you like, what, or like, how'd you feel about that?
So it was pretty ironic because when I signed up, I was actually doing an open house, and I wasn't having a lot of traffic coming through at that particular time. So I was trying to optimize my time by doing something to grow and elevate. So that's when I signed up. But when you called me, there was a part of me that felt like, oh, Linda called me. Like, how exciting. Because I have been watching so many interviews and just, watching your content. And I was like, man, she's like a force to be reckoned with. And she called me. Um, but it was a very good conversation because when you called me, you were like, you're a realtor. I just want to know, like, what made you pick my challenge?
Yeah.
And we spoke a little bit about it, and it was essentially I wanted to add more value to what I was doing and clarify how I wanted to communicate that. And that's the things that I was seeing that you were offering in that challenge.
Okay, you know what? You said so much. I just want
I'm
to unpack a little bit.
sorry.
So, like, you found me because you were following another entrepreneur and you saw
Hmm.
her elevate. Everything about her changed. Her content, the way she spoke, how she dressed, even her
Hmm.
website, like everything about her elevated. And you watched
Yes.
that. And one day that lady tagged me and you were like, let me go see who this Linda person is. Now, when did you realize that I was Puerto Rican? Because,
I
it's Linda
think,
Hales. It's Linda Hales, so I
yeah,
don't.
yeah, I think it was in one of the video contents. So I was watching a lot of testimonies, and I think prior to us having that phone conversation, I found out you were Puerto Rican, and I was like, "Oh, she's Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican." So it was pretty interesting and neat to see somebody with my cultural background to do the things that you were doing and be completely unapologetic about it. And I just love the boldness and the confidence, and I just felt like I could relate to you.
Yeah. I love that because that's not like, for those of you that are watching, I know you're an entrepreneur. Like, you are a brand. You are a personal brand. And so, but do I consciously think, oh, hey, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm going to say I'm Puerto Rican all the time? No, but that is part of who I am. It's my brand. So it's wonderful when someone else is like, "Oh my God, what a great, I didn't know I needed a model, but there's a woman, a Hispanic woman doing big things, and what an amazing model." Like, I love this, and it creates like instant rapport because
Hmm.
we have, we're both moms and we're single moms and your daughter has a black dad, and after we got to know each other, well, my kids have a black, like it's just
Yeah.
so much rapport, that when you have that rapport, when you are strong in your personal brand, you don't need to market so much because who you
Yeah.
are comes across, and it's magnetic and attractive to the other person. So that's what ended up happening. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that. I'm teaching as we're going in this interview. Um so you joined the challenge, and even though the challenge is geared towards service-based entrepreneurs who offer like transformative services to their clients, you wanted to learn the things that I was teaching in there: the psychology of the high-end buyer, how high-end people buy, um what drives them, like why it's not
Yeah.
price, it's not the cheapest price, it's like all these things. And before the challenge was over, I hadn't even made the offer. You messaged me and you were like, I'm in.
Yeah, so before the challenge was over, I guess you made some announcement on Facebook. I don't even know if it's related to the challenge or not, but you had asked, I guess it was like kind of like almost felt like a FOMO, like, don't miss out. This is the opportunity, get in on it. And I was like, I don't know what it is. Sign me up. Had prayed about it, took a leap of faith, and I was like, and of course, after we spoke, you were like, "Yeah, this was a VIP day or something like that." So then we went into more conversation about that so that I could work with you longer. But I was just like, "Sign me up."
So check this out. As Amanda is speaking, I'm breaking down the psychology of this decision. First of all, she was like, I don't know what this is, but I want it. I had made an offer, and it was to work with me at a particular price point. It was like 7,000 something. And you were like, I don't know what this is, but I'm in. So Amanda is not new to trusting herself to make powerful decisions because, Amanda, you're very young. I'm 51. You're very young compared to me. You're very young. So you're in your early 30s, and in your early 30s, you
Hmm.
decided to leave a secure job where you got a paycheck, every other week or whenever you got paid, and you went to venture and you bet on yourself. You went all in on yourself in January to be a full-time realtor. So I have to bring that to awareness to the viewer because making powerful decisions hiring me was not the first time you made a powerful decision where you bet on yourself. So I admire that. I see that. That's one of your traits. Like if I sit and talk to you, and we could see so many times in your life where you make powerful decisions, you bet on yourself, you're not scared to rock the boat. And so you were like, I don't really don't know what this is, but I'm ready to work with you. And I said, hey, I got you. And that's a VIP day, and you need me longer than that. So let's talk
Mhm.
about what those numbers could look like. And then you were like, okay, I don't care. I'm in. And so
Yeah, pretty much.
and so then what happens after you sign up to work with me, that it was literally like 3 weeks later you're closing this deal, like,
Yeah.
and I was telling you I have clients that are realtors for 20 years, haven't closed anything over 390. How did you get to $735,000 deal?
Well, I think it ties back to even before the challenge, to when you called me, because we had a conversation about what my goals were, what I wanted to do, and you said something so very clear, and it was like, I guess you spoke with other clients, and it was just kind of reminding them, like, hey, why not now? Like, why can't you do that now? Why do you have to wait to do X amount of deals before you get to that number? And that day I was like, you know what? Damn it, you're right. F it. And there was a shift in my mind before I even did the 5-day challenge. But the 5-day challenge helped solidify some more, I guess, psychometrics into high ticket buyers, because that was the realm that I was wanting to start getting into, was high ticket buyers and luxury real estate. And I think just having that mindset shift allowed me to tap into clients that I already had, because I had the client, she had been trying to do something on her own for whatever reason. And when I got wind of it, I said, "Hey, what house is it that you're wanting?" And she told me, and I was like, "Well, what have you been doing?" Like, no. And within 2 days of me finding out to her telling, from her telling me, finding out, we were under contract in 2 days. But that ties into us, is that timeline is, as soon as I signed up with you, within that same week, that deal was under contract. So it was
Yes,
just a mindset shift of
it
like, I can
was.
do this, why not?
Absolutely. Again, I'm a coach right here. So Amanda said, I was just like, I just bought a ticket to the challenge, which she bought a platinum ticket. It was $197. I just bought a 197 ticket, and then you call me. I wasn't even your client yet. Something that I teach inside of my 5-day challenge is that high ticket clients are created. So I reach out to people. Every single client that has ever signed up to work with me has gotten a phone call from me, has gotten a wonderful communication inside of Messenger. As a matter of fact, you and I tried to meet before the challenge. We even scheduled breakfast, and it was like a
Mhm.
heavy rain or something happened, and we just couldn't do it. The weather
Yep.
didn't permit. But I added crazy exponential value for $197. Amanda had a conversation with me that shifted her way of thinking and being, and allowed her to be ready to say, all right, I'm hiring Linda during this. And then boom. What happened during that time that you closed the biggest sale ever? It was you made for that sale, you made the same amount of money that you had made all year.
Mhm.
Okay. And something grave was happening in your personal life. What was happening?
I experienced a flood. So May 2nd, my house flooded, and I had to move me and my entire family out of the house because they had to cut 2 feet of sheetrock. That's why we see all this beautiful white paint now, because had to redo everything. But I had to live in a hotel for 6 weeks. So that meant I was living in a hotel in one room with 3 other family members, for about 6 weeks. And that included the time it took to work my deal. So I was still scheduling inspections. I was still keeping up with my clients, still negotiating repairs, things like that was still happening. And I wasn't even living in my house.
You weren't. So you were sometimes doing Zoom calls from your car. You
Oh, yes.
were in shorts. You were you were displaced for 6 weeks.
Yes.
Someone else would have been like, I can't work. I got to worry about my family and how expensive it is to be in this hotel. Linda, I know I just decided to work with you, girl, but life hit me, girl. Is there any way I can get a refund?
Yeah,
You
no.
That was not an option. You were like, this is what I do. This is why you're watching this interview and you are an entrepreneur. You must know the very intricacies of your ideal client. My clients are not sissies. They're not wusses. They don't give up when life is hard. As a matter of fact, one of the key things that I look for in my clients is, what is their bounce back ability? My clients have overcome crazy, difficult life situations. That's why they are the badasses that they are today. They don't say, oh, this thing happened. Let me retract. Let me quit. And I never expected you to quit, but I know that other people do. When it gets hard, people are like, hey, I'm wondering if you could, let me out of this. It's hard. That's not you.
Mm-mm.
So I
It
just
was
want to
already a commitment I made, and that money was gone in my mind. And I was like, nope, it's done. All I could do is
actually,
move
even if it
forward.
wasn't gone in your mind, it was gone because I don't give refunds.
Yeah.
But the fact that some people would think, right, because they are in scarcity. And what the thing that I loved about you, the moment that you shared with me that this was your first year as a full-time realtor and that you went in on yourself, there's no way you can be in scarcity when you go in on yourself and you're like, I got to make the money because there's no guaranteed check coming in. You're never in
Mm.
scarcity. You might be a little nervous and have some anxiety, but that's not scarcity. That's like, I left my job so I can go have the option to create as much money as I can. And
I do want to talk a little bit more about that, Linda, if you
go
allow
ahead,
me.
go ahead. Of
Because I
course.
feel like that part is like super important, that this entrepreneur life is not something that I've always done. Like the job that I left that job in October of last year, and I had been with that company for 6 years. So when you talk about stability, it was 6 years of, same company, same colleagues, of course, getting your raises and things like that. So it was a secure financial situation that I decided I wanted more for myself. I wanted more for my family. And I took that leap of faith in October, knowing that historically, statistically, numbers may be lower. I took it off in October specifically to take time for my family and not do real estate just yet. I started January is when I was like full time, because I took the holidays to be at home and do all the things at home that I wanted to kind of recharge. And I just feel like it's important for those out there who have normal jobs to know that it's possible, and it does take a leap of faith. But 2020, if it didn't teach me anything, it taught me I need to secure myself.
Amen. So let me coach on that. So Amanda left the certainty of a steady check for the uncertainty of creating her own income. So there's no guarantee from any broker that she puts her license with. Keller Williams can't guarantee that she's going to make sales. EXP Realty can't guarantee her. Century 21. No one can guarantee Amanda that she's going to make sales. But Amanda can guarantee herself that she's going to do the work necessary to create that. And when she goes in on herself and she guarantees to herself that she could do this, then the sky is the limit. Nobody has to guarantee her shit because she guarantees that she's going to do the work. And that's why I was saying there
Hmm.
are traits of my clients that they already had in place that are going to make them successful in coaching. Because if anybody asks me, well, Linda, can you guarantee me results? The only thing I can guarantee is, what can you guarantee me? Are you going to guarantee that you're going to do what I ask you to do? Yes. Then I can guarantee that you're going to get results. But Amanda is already used to guaranteeing that she is going to do the work. And even as I'm breaking it down for her right now, she's going, oh shit, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is a way of being for you. I love it. All right, let me see. Did you when you decided, because you were like, okay, Linda, I hired you because I wanted to make more money, blah, blah, blah. But did you even know that what you were really looking for was leadership?
No. And I feel like that was a aha moment that we had today because that was part of my journey, I guess, in the corporate world was I operated a certain way, but I didn't realize what it was or what I needed more of. So after watching you, it's basically I was looking for more ways and more clarity on how to continue to lead my life. I feel like publicly and out in the open, as well as with every person I come in contact with. Because it's easy to lead your life when you're in your house and you're the leader of your life, but to continue that same energy when you come across new people, clients, that was something I didn't know that I was looking for.
And let me tell you, I'm just going to give you props here for the people that are watching. Amanda is in her early 30s. In her early 30s, Amanda owns a home with land. She has a horse. Like, just having a horse is expensive. Buying a horse, I don't even want to talk about that. She has her mother living with her. She has a cousin living with her, and she has her daughter. So at the early age of the early 30s that Amanda's in, I love to say this, and sorry, not sorry for the men that are watching, but the women that I work with, they do more than the average man today. They are more responsible. They have more balls, and we don't even have balls. They're like, girl, I do this. So I love all of that. Okay. What does leadership look like to you today? I know you went into explaining it like I didn't know, I didn't know I needed or I was looking for more leadership. Today, what does that look like? I know we had a in-person meeting last month in a office here locally, and there were some things
Mhm.
that I was teaching about social media and how to show up. Maybe it goes into a little bit of that. What is that leadership looking like in your life right now?
Right now, it's looking like speaking up about things that I may have a different opinion about or not agree with, and being confident in knowing that when I do, it's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. Somebody gets rubbed the wrong way. Just having that sense of confidence in what I believe and what I'm doing, and also being able to be the person that others look to. So even like social media, you always say be a woman worth watching. So leadership to me now is kind of like setting the tone, like just being coming in and starting the trend or putting something out there that they hadn't thought about, and there was like, Amanda always has good information. Amanda always is on top of things. Amanda, just being present and being a woman of my word to me is how it's starting to translate.
Hmm. I love that because we're not going to sit here and disclose any personal details, but you love one of the things I love about you is how you immediately you're experiencing something in the moment and you're like, hey Linda, you immediately reach out to me and you're like, I'm processing this. And sometimes I just let you
Mhm.
speak. Sometimes I call you, right? But like being able to speak up in certain situations, whether family or just anyone where you would not have spoken up before, having conversations at home,
Mhm.
in your own under your roof, stating boundaries. I've seen all of that, leveling up your appearance and the way that your social media, like I just see it. I see it. I see it. And I just want to say I love that. I love having a front row seat to my client's evolution because I'm just blessed that, this is the thing that God blessed me with to help
Mhm.
women unleash, that full potential, that leadership. Um, is there anything else that you have experienced as a benefit of our work together that you were like, oh, that wasn't in the contract. I didn't know I was gonna get that.
I would say it's probably an appreciation, I guess a better appreciation for nicer things, but not because I'm being materialistic, but because I deserve it. And not feeling ashamed to want things that are expensive. Is one thing. And I would probably say another is just an increase of discernment. So I feel like we've spoken about personal things, and meeting with you and having certain conversations has allowed me to discern people and discern situations more clearly than I would have in the past. So now it's allowed me to know, okay, I'll stay here, or let me stay away from this group of people because I'm seeing certain tendencies or hearing things in their conversation that don't serve me. So those are things that I didn't know I was going to get, but I have.
Yeah. Because, hey, I always tell people my degree is in human behavior and psychology. Like, I'm going to teach you about that. But that's not what I sell. Right. But I love that. So you've learned and you're learning about key human behaviors and what they mean. People say this in the math world, in the mathematics world, but it's also true for patterns. In the mathematics world, people say numbers don't lie, right? And in human behavior, patterns don't lie. You know, in math, 2 and 2 is always 4. In human behavior, if it acts like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, it's a duck. So I love that. Is there anything else that you want to share that I didn't ask about that you're like, this has been amazing? And let me just pause here. We started working in April. We literally put our work on hold for almost a month because she was in this hotel for 6 weeks.
Hmm.
So literally it's
Yeah.
been 90 days, 3 weeks in, you go achieve these
Yeah.
crazy results. You're learning more about the psychographics of your clients, who your best clients are. Like you already have a type
Yeah.
and that type of client.
I have a real estate type.
Exactly. You have
I would say one thing is, yep, in the short amount of time that we've worked together, like you said, it was displaced. And with that, besides living in a, I had none of my belongings. Like, I had no clothes, I had no makeup, I couldn't get together, as far as feeling like my normal self. And I was still making sure that I handled what I need to. But in that short amount of time, I closed that $735,000 deal. I switched brokerages. So Linda and I spoke, and she recommended you need to go to a bigger brokerage that has more resources. So I did, and that brokerage already has been helping me with marketing. He just gave my mentor gave me 1,000 cards the other day and was like, "Oh, I ordered these for you." I was like, "Oh, thank you." So with that, I've also gotten two new listings. I'm about to put a third one on this week. One of them is already under contract, so I feel like there's a lot more movement. I've also chosen to get away from rentals unless there are a certain dollar amount, just because I want to stay in the luxury realm. But yeah, it's just this all happened within 90 days, and there's been movement, traction.
so proud of you. So proud of you. Where I know where you were when you met me. You said you were following me for 6 months. What would you say to someone that's on the
Hmm.
fence? They're stalking me for 6 months also, and they're trying to make the decision if they want to move forward. What would you say to them?
Ah, I would probably say the same thing I said to myself. Like when I decided to work with you, I was thinking, what do I have to lose? And whenever I want to make a decision that's like a leap of faith, and it's so funny, but I say it to myself, I'm like, F it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? you know, you're betting on yourself. So I would say if you're on the fence, just really think about like what's stopping you, and whatever that is stopping you, is it worth it? Or is achieving your goals sooner more worth it? That's what I would advise.
Come on with the coaching. Come on with the coaching. What's it costing you not to move forward right now? What is that costing you? I love it. Where can people find you if they need a realtor in Texas?
Yes, so if you are needing a realtor in Texas, you can find me at my website, which is amandaocasio.com. Last name is Ocasio, like you see on the screen. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Texas Homes by Amanda, and it's TX Homes with an S by Amanda. And on social media, you just look me up, Amanda Ocasio.
I love it. Amanda, it's a pleasure. It's a joy to work with you. We're not even done working together yet. And I foresee us having a long relationship anyway. So it's never done. But it's thank you for trusting me with this leg of your journey of life and business. It's my honor. It's my sincere pleasure. And for those of you watching, thanks for watching. And I wish you a great rest of your day. Be successful. Don't get